All right. Hey, everybody. It's Jason Blaha here. I'm just sitting here drinking my morning coffee, looking sexy as hell as usual. All right. Let me bring that over there. Put my coffee cup on. See what we get in here this morning. It's a little earlier than usual. I was in bed early. So, up nice and early. Got to do some client stuff this morning. Thought we'd see who we get in here. Did I make this public? I have a habit of not doing that sometimes. Double check it. Yeah, we're public. Okay. So, Sunday morning, like I said, a little earlier than usual. Some of the normal haters might not be up. Fascinating that you get the same ridiculous haters who come for an hour every day in all your chats. Ooh, that's a level of mental illness right there. All right. So, got some people in finally. I'll wait a moment, see if we get any questions or comments. Get a little more coffee in. Get some coffee in me and get it flowing. So, fast all the way through this morning. See if it'll help tighten up the waist a little bit. Wait till at least noon to have breakfast. But yeah, off day for training for me. Take Sundays off, so it's all work. Just client stuff, videos, lives. Yeah, I'll give everybody a little bit of time. There's the first like. If you guys will reach over and click like too, and give me some questions and comments. All right. Replace bench press with weighted decline deficit push-ups. Why would you do that? It seems like a lot of hassle to set up. Difficult loading. Like why? What do you hope to gain from that? And Tony says, hey, coach, I just saw a video where Vegan Gains was talking mad trash about me. Was it a recent video? I mean, it's not like he didn't do tons of them years ago. Good morning to you, William. But as to your other thing, why would you pick that lift as a replacement for a big exercise? Okay. I'm not saying some decline push-ups or whatever aren't a good assistance, but replacing a big lift, not sure what your goal is with that. I'm glad you love my stuff. Yeah. Man. Okay. Well, why are your shoulders hurting? Get that all the time. We get people whose shoulders hurt on benching. They need to fix their bench press. It's not that they need to stop benching. It's there's a problem with either their overuse on the bench or their technique, their setup. For example, number one cause I find with shoulder pain is gripping the bar like this when you bench. Okay. So if you see where the bar is, that will fuck your shoulders up right there. This is where the bar goes. Not back here. That simple fix would save 90% of shoulder problems on the bench. Right there, done. William says, I've been up since 4 a.m. My whole body hurts in a good way. All right. TF says, Happy New Year, Coach. Hope you had a good Christmas. I had a great Christmas. Yeah. Had a great Christmas. Right. I mean, Christos, context. You see me do rep work every work with 315 on the bench at 48, and my shoulders don't hurt from the bench. I stack the wrist. Stack the wrist, maintain good form. Hey, Pepper, who knows? Pepper, you're asking me to try to do a large amounts of math on my first cup of coffee for me to extrapolate an enormous spreadsheet. And it also, you have to ask the question of how long has someone been training? Like if you've been training already for 5 years, you will never recomp that much without steroids. 0, you won't do it in 50 years because you've already maxed out too much of your new gains. Who is next on the natty or not list? I might need to do Alex Leonidas, mainly because, you know, he all popped off. People sent me clips of his little rant too. He's obsessed with my butthole. I think I need to address that too. There we go. Now we're getting down to the nitty gritty, right? Because he actually said in the video, he asked me if I want NH up my ass again. Like, what? Why are these guys all so obsessed with that? Just saying, dude. I'm just saying. It's kind of weird. Crystal says, cool, my best is 150 kilograms for 3. Hey, Edu, if only, here's what I'm going to do, Edu. I'm going to build a time machine right now. I'm going to film a video and I'm going to go back in time and upload it several days ago answering your question with his name in the title. Just hold on, get me ready. Like magic. I just did that, dude. I have superpowers. Now, if you go back and look, you will find that I just magically teleported back in time and uploaded a video several days ago. Alec and Kiri, natty or not. How's that for superpowers, dude? Just off your suggestion of your question. Antonio, because he is a coward. Cowardly little man. He's going to make the video and set it to private. You see me doing that. That is cowardly. What about Omar? I've got to figure out what's up with Omar. William says, with a wide grip, you put more strain on your shoulder joints, and incline also causes more. Incline can. I don't feel that wide grip really strains my shoulders at all, William. Once you get used to it. When you first do it, it feels like it. And once you adapt, no. I don't really even get shoulder strain with pinky on the ring. Sorry, index finger on the ring. Okay. It can depend on the damage of your shoulders. I mean, to some extent, William, but build it up correctly. All right? Build it up correctly. The beauty of these coffee chats, since I don't do them on a replay, no one can see the troll questions. I'm switching over to I'm not going to do them on replay. So if I just ignore them and don't read them, they're just giving me free engagement that nobody's going to see later. So I'm just going to ignore them. But William, we come over to also, if you can do everything correctly, it's not going to aggravate your shoulders. And I previously had shoulder impingements, and I don't have issues with it at all. So again, it's a question of technique, it's a question of what you're doing, how you're gripping the bar, right? But who did? He also, wait, he made fun of me for doing live streams? I didn't know that. Yeah. But then he does them now? Of course. Of course he does. All right. Antonio says, it's funny watching you dunk on these trials, though. It can be. I mean, it's sad. It's really sad because look how obsessed they are. Like, I am literally their reason for existence. Because I can make 2 lives a day and they will show up to every one of them and stand there and talk just to be ignored. Right? Like, imagine what sort of losers these people are and how empty their lives are that they obsess over me. Because think about that for a minute. Think about that. For someone to obsess for hours a day to come and call someone else who they've never met a loser for hours who's just literally sitting here making money off of them doing it, who clearly isn't a loser, doing his thing, enjoying his stuff, lifting heavy ass weights, being in shape, playing guitars, living life. That's weird. Yeah. You get a teddy bounce. And those people's lives are so empty and meaningless. Like, I'm surprised they're not thinking about eating a bullet at this point. And the thoughts probably got across their mind. Our canal says the only shoulder issues I ever had was with upright rows. Yeah, and they can be. It's, again, upright rows. One of those lifts where I would say it can be perfectly safe, but you have to be aware of what your upper limits of your range of motion are. TF says, we appreciate you, Coach. Hey, man, I appreciate the real fans too, TF. Nothing but love, brother. Nothing but love. William, I'm sorry to hear that, man. I mean, that happens sometimes too, though, doesn't it? Right? It does happen. All right. We got any training topics here, guys? Get a few training questions going, stuff like that, fitness, or just general good life stuff. Let's get away from all these nonsense losers. Let's talk about things of value. Edu says, any idea how to get my dad lifting, coach? That's a good one. Normally, what I tell people, you can't really trick someone into lifting. Here's the difference: that's your dad. Same thing with your bros. Okay. I always tell people, don't try to force your kids into it. Do shame your dad into it. It'll work. Call him out on being a weak old man. Tell him you expect more out of him. Give it a try. Hit his sense of pride with it. He'll get under the bar. And then tell him you offered it to train with him. Hey, Antonio, did I just not say we're not going to address Trump stuff? No. Yeah, I'm going to skip all that in the chats. I'm not going to answer any of their questions in general, and I'm not going to address them. And I'm not going to answer questions other people ask about what they say. I'm just going to let them spam. Jason, I'm 5'10", 172 pounds yet. Not lean, have intermediate lifts on everything. What do you mean? 170 pounds? No, 170 pounds is not too high, but if you're not lean, then you need to lean out, right? You need to lean out. So the problem is not your height. It's the problem is you haven't been lifting long enough to have gained the muscle to be lean at that height, right? Hey, Antonio, I haven't practiced any martial arts in over 25 years, and I really just don't care to. Like, it's a dead topic to me. I did martial arts as a kid growing up. And that's it. That's the whole totality of the entirety of the topic. Dad bods are not that bad. It depends. Witch Doctor, good morning, Jason. Do you think it's unethical for guys like Alpha Destiny to imply he's not touching any gear at all? He's all of a sudden adopted. When did he all of a sudden adopt it? It's been a long time. And yes, it's very unethical. Hey, Pepper, you should be making progress. Pepper, let me be clear on that. If you are cutting slowly, you're not talking about a lot of weight. We're not talking about a 20-pound, 30-pound cut like I did. Okay. You're talking about losing 10 pounds over, say, the course of a year. Why wouldn't you make gains? What do you mean not regress? Pepper, your mindset's wrong, dude. Pepper, hire me for coaching. We're done with this shit. That's it. You need to hire me. I'm going to get my thing. Get a link to my thing. Put it in here. Ridiculous. Like, your mindset is so ridiculous. That's why you're struggling. You need direct one-on-one help because you're literally talking about not regressing. What the fuck, bro? I'm going to give you some tough love. You're talking about going from 170 to 160 over a long period of time. You should be getting bigger. You should be gaining muscle. What does the research show on that? On a slow cut like that, you should be able to gain muscle all the way through. It'll be small gains, but why would you, we're talking about not regressing. No, you need to be improving. You're not an advanced lifter. You're an intermediate. You should be able to get bigger and stronger while losing weight slowly if you're not lean enough to have abs. So send me a message there. Let's get you actually sorted. Pepper, I'm still running the New Year's price reduction. Seriously, message me. Genoy, although I really should ban you for being a Genova weirdo, yes, I decided to stop banning people. If a comment is too egregious, I can just delete a comment. I tried to remove my entire block list, but it's still leaving a few people on that keep reappearing no matter what I do. But I had to delete the entire block list like 20 times now. That's where it says delete the whole, and then a few more will refill back in each time. They just keep coming back up. So no matter what I do, when I go back to delete the whole block list, there's like 2 or 3 people in it still. And so, but otherwise, yeah, I deleted the block list. So like I said, I can get rid of particularly egregious comments while still allowing people to post. Hey, Jason, do you ever wake up and your back hurts for no reason? No. The only thing that ever hurts when I wake up is my neck. Occasionally a tricep tendon. My biceps actually been getting DOMs a bit lately. My back, I can't say my back ever hurts actually. but I've also taken a lot of time to build all of it up, right? So if you build proper connective tissue and have good fatigue management, things like your back should never ever have problems. Several things, Antonio, because honestly, that's the full range of motion of my lats. So like if I were doing a lat pull down and I swing the bar down, I can get it down under there, but it's not my lats anymore. So my pull-ups, I am literally taking the scapula through their full range of motion. I can't move the scapula any further. And that's the range of motion of the joint. So it's not short, it's that my scapula touch each other. Also keep in mind I have fairly long arms, other stuff, blah, blah, blah. So because again, I'm not trying to swing over the bar and rotate the shoulder to do it. I'm purely pinching the scapula together. I mean, like I said, if I were to do a lat pull down and want to work all those other muscles, I could in theory swing it around down under, but I wouldn't be able to pull it straight down because the scapula touch. Opinion on Paul Carter saying 4 to 8 reps is the only smart rep range in it. No, I'm going to disagree with Paul on that. Even I'm finding now, I did some of my isolation work a little heavier this week, and I noticed it left me, some pain in the muscle, and it's like, it's not worth it. So I've experimented a little with that back and forth. I am going to be of the opinion that for the most part, other than when you're really trying to push some progressive overload, 8 reps is probably your minimum for isolation work. Other than an occasional, you just want to go heavy. And I would even argue 10 plus is probably better. Now, if we're talking some of your big compounds, yeah, that 4 to 8 makes a lot of sense. Small exercises, no, I don't think that's a good idea personally. Because there's no downside to the higher reps. There really isn't. And I get what he's saying from a fatigue perspective. If we are talking about a big movement, I totally get what he's saying on a squat or a leg press or whatever, right? Yeah, absolutely. There's some potential issues when reps get too high in terms of things like cardio and work capacity limiting muscle fiber recruitment and work. But if we're talking about single joint movements, isolation movements, no, high reps are perfectly fine with no downside. Right? When's the alpha desta? I don't know, Immortal. I might do it today. Why does everyone else, they don't with a pull-up, Antonio? You mean chin-ups? Right. But the thing is, guys, if I was trying to do a pull-up contest, I would work on using that style, right? I would work on using that style, but I'm doing pull-ups to continue to build my lats. And I mean, here's the question that I would ask to people doing that. It's like I tell people with my back training, everyone's like, dude, your back is great. Your back is great. And then everyone critiques my back technique. And I'm like, but I train my back in the way to where I feel the lats the most. And I've done it that way, and my back has gotten bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. So the question I would then ask to people is, what's the problem? I mean, I'm just saying, yes, imagine I banned you. That's why we can't read your comment. But again, a point I would make with the back stuff, and people don't like my back training. I mean, I can understand them being critical of my bicep training because I don't have great biceps. But my back grows, and the way I do pull-ups and do rows, I get a ridiculous pump in my back. My lats literally cramp at the end of every set to the point of where they hurt. And my back just keeps growing. So what I would always ask people is, what exactly is the problem? Giano says, people comparing you to Paul Carter are idiotic. He's way more close-minded to you and acts like you. I happen to like Paul's work, though, and I don't even agree with Paul on everything, but I do actually like his work. All right. And I think that's fair. I disagree with Paul on some points, but he is a good coach, right? He is a good coach and his people get results. And at the end of the day, that is what matters. Our lat pull down is a useless exercise. No, it's not a useless exercise. If someone can do, high reps on a pull up, I don't see why they would bother with the lat pull down. You should offer guitar lessons. Why? 3x5 or 5x5 for a beginner in your program? Depends on which program. All right. Scones, I keep banned Scones. I haven't banned anybody in a week. And anyone watching knows that I haven't reached up and even touched a mouse all this time to ban anybody. So what are you talking about? Bad Hair Day says, oh, wow. OG himself is live. Still remember when you were reload in chat and the legendary edited draw, of course. Your chest also needs more growth. Who are you talking about? Me? Yeah, all of it needs growth. Hey, William, really, my entire upper body other than my lats could stand to continue to get bigger. Is that a fair statement? I think right now, my biceps, my triceps, all three heads of my delts, and my chest could use some more size. How's that? Anybody disagree? William, would you agree? So I should continue to work on them. Hey, Scones, you didn't get banned, dude. Jesus Christ. Why do people say fives build muscle best? Are they really better than threes? Threes can be tricky, right? Threes can be tricky. Is UF powerlifter bench numbers realistic for average drug-free lifters? Absolutely not. How do you know he's even drug-free? Hey, William, but I've got higher reps on the dumbbells. So I think what I'm going to be doing, William, is definitely this week again, I want to keep my benching really heavy, but I think I'm going to drop back down to the 245 for incline, right? And just hammer it for reps because I've been able to get 7 with it and build the reps up with that. And then I'm going to do higher reps with the dumbbells after. So I think I want to drop the dumbbells back down and focus on a deep stretch and pause, but try to get it up in like about 12 rep range, right? So I think that's going to be kind of my chest training for this week because I went a little heavier this night. That's what I was doing. And then this last week, I decided just to try to go a little heavier to see how all of it felt. And I think realistically for definitely all the incline work, I want to get the reps back up just a hair. Michael says, I am stuck at 265. I see, we're talking about bench, but want to rep 315 at below 180. Man, that's a tall order. And I'm not telling you it's not doable, Michael. I'm just saying that's a lot of work, brother. Now, keep working at it, though, because it is obtainable with enough work, right? Depending on your height, stuff like that. Novice Ice Cream Fitness, which one would you suggest? No, dude, the OG one will give you more results if you can recover from it. The second one was made for people who can't recover from it. Hey, Michael, I answered the question on UF powerlifter. No, not at all. I'm going to go on a limb and say his bench numbers are not realistic for the average steroid using lifter. Okay. By the way, everyone who's in here who's been watching, please note I didn't delete anybody's comments at any point. So this weirdo is literally just being ridiculous. Other than Alec and Curie and basement bodybuilding, who might be natural? I would honestly have to check. Yeah, but William, I do want a big bench, and I do have incline goals. But it's fine. Like I don't get tendon or joint problems from my squat, bench, or deadlift, right? And you see what I'm lifting on stuff. I mean, I did a 585 pull this week, nice and clean. I did a 505 box squat. Right, we're good. None of that hurt. Hey, Jason, I'm going to be getting a job that has to be traveling and living in hotels. You need to find gyms to train in. All right. So that's what you have to do, man. Bad hair day. Should I bother to continue to go to the gym? I can't lift any of the numbers you guys are talking about. No, how do you think you get there, hair day? You get there by training. Right? Hey, Antonio, why are you asking something I answered in the videos? I mean, it's not like I didn't address it in the vlogs like a year and a half ago, right? I mean, seriously, Antonio, you're acting like that's a criticism, but I've told you guys very clearly and very articulately multiple times when I started leaning out. I got to the 365 bench, right? I got to the 365 bench for a 2-second pause. And then I started trimming down. I'm like, guys, I just feel I'm too heavy. I want to get leaner. I want to work on aesthetics more. So I'm like, it's 405. It's just not going to happen. And then I started leaning out. So I mean, it's not a difficult thing to understand. Hey, Edu, we don't answer the troll questions in here. So I'm not even going to answer your question. He can tell you who he is. He's not. He's a coward who hides behind fake names and obsesses over me. What a weirdo. Guy needs to get a life. Is 531 a good program for someone who's trying to retain strength after time off? Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, but Antonio, so here's the thing. If you knew about the 405 bench, right, then you were following me at the time that I was working on it. Fair? Otherwise, you wouldn't know about it. So if you're watching the vlogs, eventually, right, I started cutting. And I had a whole period of time to where I told people, I want to cut, I want to get leaner, I want to work on aesthetics more, I'm going to bodybuild more. I was already the 365, my body weight was getting higher than I'm comfortable with again. It was up in the 220s. And I'm like, I want to trim down. And I don't think that was unreasonable. Guess what, guys? You guys ready? Binge, I'm not blocking anybody. No, it's all good. So guess what, guys? In your fitness journey, if you do it long enough, your goals are going to change sometimes. It's pretty easy concept to understand. So there's going to be times where you go, you know what? Maybe I want to adjust this goal a little bit. All right. How you doing today, Coach? I'm good. I'm about to wind this down, though. I have some other stuff to get done. I got to do a client call in 1 hour, and I have some other stuff I need to finish though before then. So time to wind this down, get some more coffee. Love all of you guys and gals, and I will talk to you next time.